जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जनवल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यामुनतीरावनचारि। यामुनतीरावनचारि। राधमाधव कुंजा विहारी। राधमाधव कुंजा विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यामुनतीरावनचारि। यामुनतीरावनचारि। राधमाधव कुंजा विहारी। राधमाधव कुंजा विहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दना व्रज जनरञ्जन। यामुनतीरावनचारि। यामुनतीरावनचारि। राधमाधव कुंजा विहारी। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधा श्याम सुंदर। जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा। हरि गो प्रेमानंद हरि हरि गो। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का जन अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद ऐसी भक्ति वेदांत संस्पाद की जय। एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज का जन अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद श्री भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। नमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय। नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय। श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगामय यमुनामय की जय। भक्ति देव तुलसी महारानी की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। जय गो प्रेमानंद हरि हरि गो। Allora siamo gli odi Hare Krishna. Allora siamo gli odi Hare Krishna. Allora siamo gli odi Hare Krishna. Allora. Shri Guru and Gauranga Gopal Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prachara Nirvisesha Sunyavad Panchachya Destarne. Thank you very much for joining. This is the live darshan right now in Sridham Mayapur, Sri Radha Madhav, gorgeously dressed in the morning, such early time. Reading from Bhagavad Gita, very important verses. Arjuna's first question in Bhagavad Gita. That Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamas Loke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat Sat. Chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, verse number 54 and 55. Arjuna Vacha Sthitapragnasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Prajeta Kim. Arjuna Vacha Sthitapragnasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Keshava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Prajeta Kim. Arjuna Vacha Sthitapragnasya Kabasha Samadhistasya Kesava Sthitadi Kim Prabhaseta Kim Asita Prajeta Kim. Arjuna Vacha, word to word. Arjuna said, Sthita Pragnasya, a one who is situated in fixed Krishna consciousness, ka, what, Bhasha, language. Samadhistasya, a one situated in trance, Keshava, O Krishna. So each different verses, different names of the Lord is used. Kesava has many meanings. So here Arjuna has a doubt, Arjuna has a question, so that's specifically Kesava is used. Ka, Isha and Va, who is the control of Lord Brahma, Ka, and Lord Shiva, and Isha is the supreme control of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. Another one is one who has beautiful hair, that is Kesava. Another meaning is one who has killed the Kesi demon. So here that is the main meaning of Arjuna wants his doubts to be removed, his demon of doubt should be removed, killed by Lord Krishna. So that's why that used word is used. Sthita the one who fixed in Krishna consciousness, Kim what Prabhasita speaks, Kim how Asita does remain still, Vrajeta walks, Kim how. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Arjuna said, very important verse, everybody should know this verse. If anybody asks, what is Arjuna's first question in Bhagavad Gita? This is the first question, and very important question. So, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to bring the practitioner, the conditioned soul, to this enlightenment. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Please repeat. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what are the symptoms of one whose consciousness is thus merged in transcendence? How does he speak? And what is his language? How does he sit? And how does he walk? Next verse, the many verses explain, goes on till 72. So, what this verse gives, at least the first symptom. Many symptoms are there, first symptom. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Arjuna is asking question. Now Lord Krishna is replying. all the way from 55 to 72. So many verses Lord has to speak to explain the qualities or characteristics of self-realized soul, characteristics of a pure devotee, characteristics of one who is fixed in samadhi, characteristics of a jivan mukta, one who is liberated. While being in this world, is liberated from this world. So is not of this world. He's in this world, but he's not acting of this world. So he's completely aloof from everything. First symptom, Lord is going to explain. श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहति यथा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मनेवात्मनः तुष्टः स्थितः प्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहति यथा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मने एवात्मनः तुष्टः स्थितः प्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजाहति यथा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मनेवात्मनः तुष्टः स्थितः प्रज्ञस्तदुच्यते. Word to word. Sri Bhagavan was the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Prajahati gives up yada when kaman desire for sense gratification, sarvan of all varieties, pardha, O son of Pruta, Managatan, a mental concoction, Atmani, in the pure state of the soul, Eva, certainly, Atmana, by the purified mind, Tushta, satisfied, Sthita Prajna, transcendently situated, Tada, at that time, Uchite, it said. Translation by Sir Prabhupada. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. Repeat. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of desire for sense gratification, which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind, thus purified, finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. I will try to understand these two verses. ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं देवतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम् वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. परंपरा की जय. श्री राधा माधव अष्टसखी पंचतत्व की जय. श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकं. श्री प्रभु गोस्वामी की जय. प्रभुपाद की जय. गौर भक्तों की जय. Okay. So here in this chapter, two canons of Gita summarized as five sections, important sections. The second chapter and 18th chapter almost similar, but at a different length, different lengths. So second chapter, 18th chapter goes at much a little bit deeper. Second chapter is beginning, so that is at a simpler level. So where it starts with Arjuna's further doubt, that is the first section 1 to 10. So because first chapter is displaying how the material world is. Mm, you will find envious, jealousy, so many types of people who are not cultured. Examples are Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra. Ill motivation, strong motivation. That is the problem statement of this material world generally. That is displayed there. And then Arjuna is supposed to fight, but he couldn't decide, and he gave various arguments, doubts that continued on in the chapter 2 beginning. He was crying, sat down in the chariot. He is the one who told Lord Krishna, bring the chariot in between the armies so that I can see. But as soon as he saw, then he immediately he sat down, crying. So And then he expressed further doubts. I cannot fight. You didn't kill your master Sandeepanam. Why you are asking me to kill? So that was the first section, 1 to 10. Then finally he surrendered. He could understand. He can't argue, go on arguing without actually surrendering, getting help from Lord Krishna. Then he surrendered. Then the instructions started coming. That is second section is Sankhya Yoga after Arjuna surrendered to Lord Krishna as spiritual master, making his Lord Krishna a spiritual master, no more friend. Then Lord Krishna started giving instruction. The first instruction section is called Sankhya Yoga. Fight. There is no death for the soul, because that is the first information one has to give. Otherwise, it's very difficult further to understand further points on body and soul difference. So that is called Sankhya Yoga or Jnana Yoga. That is the first section. Second section, after Arjuna's further doubts in the first 1 to 10, then 11 to 30 is the second section, Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, fight. There is no death for the soul. Then the third section is now you understand the body and soul. Now you have to understand that you must perform some duty, some activity. Soul is active, and you cannot sustain without action. Everybody has to do action. So what that action means, that Krishna is explaining in the third section, which is called karma. Fight, perform your prescribed duty. O Pradha, you are coming from both father and mother, both are exalted families. They have done, they never did like you are doing. So they acted responsibly. But you being Kshatriya and the leader, you are not acting responsibly. So you should understand and perform your duty, prescribed duty. Perform your action. Fight. That is the third section. Then further, Lord Krishna is speaking. This implies to all of us. We could be student, we could be IT, we could be business, whatever the case may be. We should not run away from the problem. We have to work. We have to do our duty. Duty should not be given up at any cost, however difficult that is. So everywhere there is a problem. So we think that marriage life is a problem. Then you want to enter into brahmacharya ashram or vanaprastha sannyas. Everywhere there is a problem. You think only in US there is a problem. No, if you go to India there is also a problem. Even if you go to holy place there is also a problem. Problem is always there. With what consciousness and how we operate. So how we understand things and how we move around those problems. So that is very important. Bhagavad Gita teaches us that in the complex battlefield, this solution is given. So that's what one must do, prescribed duty. And then Krishna is giving further, step by step, gradually, is laying out the ground further and higher and higher. Sankhya Yoga, Jnana Yoga, then Karma Yoga. Now is coming to the next section, Nishkama Karma Yoga. Acting without attachment. Fight, but without Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga, fight without any reactions. Act, do your duty, but without any reactions. That is describing from verse number 40. And there is a great advantage we described yesterday in Friday's class, that Neha Vikrama, it can save one from greatest danger of death. That means at least you will get human birth. Ideally, if he does the practice what Krishna says, Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, then he will go back home, back to God. He will not need to suffer, continue this material life in the material prison house. Rather, he will go back home, back to Godhead original place. That is the actual original place. 3/4 of the Brahmanda is spiritual world. Only 1/4 is material world. Even though it seems like a vast place, the 7 continents, we are an earthly planet, that also half of it we are not able to see it. There are 7 oceans, we are not able to see it. We are only seeing salt ocean, there is honey ocean, liquor ocean, tea ocean, yogurt ocean. We are not able to see. This is the earthly planet. That is how much we are conditioned. That's how much we have knowledge. So our knowledge is very teeny, limited. But Shastra gives much more. So elaborate. So like that, we are in the smallest universe. You can imagine how much space is there in spiritually. This itself is so vast, 1/4 of the creation, and 3/4 is actually spiritual world. How much variety is there? How much enjoyment is there? So we have no idea. So you can consider we are like a frog in a well. Frog is thinking this is all in all. So we are so minute and limited in our understanding. So that's this enlightenment has to be received by from Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam especially. That's what Krishna is explaining. Buddhi Yoga, intelligence must be sharpened. so that you act without attached results. That is the next section, fourth section. Now the final section. So what is the use? What is the purpose of explaining all this? Is to come to realize the purpose of human life, realize who we are, realize who is the Supreme Lord, realize our relationship, and going back home to original place and to liberate from this conditioned place, remove our shackles of the present house, and become free from these three modes of material nature, conditioned nature. So that's why this section is called Samadhi. This section is called Sthita Prajna, or characteristics of a self-realized soul, Jivan Mukta, liberated soul. All these are the same. So now Arjuna is asking, because Lord Krishna has been speaking at least last from 48, 9 or so, almost 3, 4 verses, keep speaking about intelligence, buddhi, speaking about prajna. One must be intelligent, one must be situated, fixed in consciousness. Mm. So now Arjuna wants to know actually what does it mean. So what is this you're talking about? That's why first question Arjuna is asking. This is in the last section, science of self-realized soul, characteristics. And the first question is asking Arjuna. Arjuna vacha sthita pragnasya ka vasha samadhistasya kesava samadhistasya kesava kim pravaset kim asit kim brajet kim. He's asking 4 questions in this case. First word, one important word one should understand. Self-realized means in Sanskrit word here it is Sthita Prajna. Prajna means intelligent, expert in knowing what is matter, what is spirit, distinguishing clearly what is matter, what is spirit. So, how to dovetail things in the service of the Lord, how to put Krishna in the sun, how to see everything in the lens of Shastra and Sadhu and Guru, looking at everything in purview of Shastra Chakshu, it is called. So you take a lens of Shastra. So that is what the self-realized soul does. That is sthita. Sthita means situated, fixed. He doesn't move. One day he will be doing this, and another day he will do something else. What he likes, no. He's always fixed. Every day is in the same, fixed, very much fixed in consciousness of Krishna and his duty and actions and his behavior, everything. So that is what Sthita Prajna is. What is the opposite? Throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, you see that Nasta Prajna, Manda Prajna, opposite. Sthita Prajna, another word is also Amala Prajna. Mala means impurity. Amala means no more impurity, pure. Prajna means pure intelligent, pure intelligence. Sthita Prajna, Amala Prajna is one side. So and then this opposite side is Nasta Prajna, means his intelligence is taken away, his intelligence is lost. Or Manda Prajna, partly his intelligence is being subdued, his intelligence is impure, is covered with something else which is not useful. So this way also explains in throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, you will see these words used. So that first we have to understand the definitions of it, so that as we get into more, then we can understand much more clearly. Sthita Pragnasya Ka Bhasha. First question is asking is, what is his language? We may speak English, Hindi, Telugu. Uh, but so how does what is his language? So it's not so much about the his real language thing here. It's much more deeper here. Kim Prabhaseta. So how does he speak? Kim Prabhaseta. How does he speak? What is his speech look like? How do I know if somebody is speaking? How do I know whether he's a realized soul or whether he is a Manda Buddhi, Manda Prajna, Nasta Prajna, or Sthita Prajna? How do I know? And so give me some characteristics so that I know. And so that's why he's asking this question. Prim Prabhasita, how does he speak? What is language? How does he speak? And then how does he sit? Kim Asita. How does it? It's not literally means speech and sit, but it's deeper meanings are there. Kim Asita. And then Kim Brajet. How does he walk? It's not simply walking. Everybody is walking every day. That's not the question here. So these are the four questions. What is the language? How does he speak? How does he sit? And how does he walk? These are the four questions Arjuna is asking. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha, language. Kim pravaseta, speech. Kim as how does it? And then Vrajeta Kim, how does he walk? These are the four questions Arjuna is asking. So, what does it mean? Baladev Vidyabhushan, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur, more or less speaking the same, similar thing. So, here it means that how one responds, how he becomes unresponsive to the external objects, how he replies to the things, how he behaves, honor and dishonor, respect and defamation. Mm, uh, so yeah, envy and jealousy, all these things, worldly things, you'll find how this person, self-realized person, behaves completely differently from a ordinary conditioned soul when he get into any of these situations. That's what it means. How does he situate himself? How does he sit? Means actually on a day-to-day basis, how does he be? How does he respond to these things when he get into when he's in conversing, when he's interacting, when he faced with difficulties? How does he behave? How does he walk? How does he sit? Walking means his lifestyle. You can understand his lifestyle, the way he acts, the way he conducts, his language, the way he conducts, the way he responds, the way he behaves. So these are the main characters. So that it's easy to understand. So that is a deeper subject. So here, that's what it means. So the one must know these principles throughout this particular section from 54 all the way to 72. Lord Krishna started explaining and gives examples also on in question in answer to this question. And Prabhupada also explains, gives example in the purport. Prabhupada is explaining that everyone has a symptoms. If you want to know about doctor, then he has symptoms. How he looks and what he does, his profession, his activities, and then the artist, the teacher, everybody has a certain symptoms, certain behavior, certain activity does. By that, this particular what do you call it, apprentice. So, and he's been guided. As well as the next verse is also connection. What is characteristics, and the next verse is connected to that. First, Lord is telling. So, Lord is telling that what is the first characteristics of a person who is situated in this particular consonance, fixed up consonance, means he doesn't change, he doesn't deviate. Is Prajahati. See, Bhagavan was Supreme Lord Sri Krishna is speaking. So that if he says Krishna, because my name is also Krishna, somebody else's name also. So that's why he's putting Bhagavan, so that not everybody can claim themselves as Bhagavan. Bhagavan, some people has name Bhagavan also these days. But actually, Bhagavan, so Vyasdev has written Bhagavan so that everybody understand this is Lord Himself is speaking, God is speaking, not ordinary conditioned soul speaking. Bhagavad is not spoken by conditioned soul. So it's always perfect. Every verse is perfect. You can't find a loophole, you can't find a gap, you can't find a fault in any verse what Lord is speaking. So Sri Bhagavan Vaja Prajahati Mana Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan. The first character Atmaneva Yavat Santushta Stitadhir Muni Ruchati. So what is the first character? Muni. One who is situated fixed up in transcendence, in Samadhi, in Jivan Mukta, liberated. What is the first characteristic? He doesn't operate anymore on the mental speculation. So that's why after second chapter about karma, he talks about third chapter. Then he gives transcendental knowledge. So and then the first verse itself, it begins with Evam Parampara Praptam Imam Rajarshevidu. The knowledge, the transcendental knowledge must be received in a disciplic succession. That means he's not concocting something that this, oh, I can do like this is what it means. No, he's not coming with speculation. That's what first characteristic is. No more mental speculation. He's not operating by mind's ideas. in everything. How he hears, how he chants, how he do service, how he does his duty, how he does behave. Nothing is based on the mental construction. He's not using his own mind's ideas and thoughts for any of this, including deity worship. All this is not based on. It is simply based on what the previous acharya has said, what Shastra is saying, what Lord is saying, how one should do. So then he is following. Evam parampara praptam. That is the first symptom. You want to find self-realized soul, you want to know who is situated in self-realization. His first symptom is repeating what Shastra is saying, is repeating what Guru is saying, is repeating what Krishna is saying. He's not adding, subtracting anything of his own ideas and thoughts. He may give examples, but he's not changing the words of the Acharya, and he's following. Hmm. Many examples will understand. So, is it clear? Prajahati Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatam. Everybody uses in this world, most of the people are operating on the mental speculation only. Prahlad Maharaj in his prayers to Lord Nrsimhadev, Canto 5, in 7th canto, whole of Nrsimhadev Katha is there. But in the 5th canto also, Prahlad Maharaj and all his followers are offering prayers. There, 518, 22, 518, 14. This famous verse is there. Mm, there, Prahlad Maharaj is quoting exactly what is speculation, what is mental concoction, mental speculation versus what is not. So, Yasyasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. One is Akinchana means one who is fully fixed up in the service of the Lord, one who is fixed in the service of Guru. Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru is always following. So, automatically he develops all the characteristics of the self-realized soul, which Krishna is going to explain. Yes, Yasti Bhaktir Bhagavati Akinchana. Because he is engaged in the devotion service to Lord Krishna, then Sarvair Gunair Tatra Samasate Sura, like the demigods, higher beings, as full of motion of good qualities. So automatically they develop because he has engaged in transcendental loving service to the Lord. It's just the bhakti. Bhakti. That is loving devotion service. Love is very. It's just bhakti. Bhagavati Akinchana. Kinchana means you feel I am independent, I am master, I possess something, I am working, I am getting results, I should be the enjoyer, I should use, I can do whatever I want. No. Akinchana means he is not thinking like that. He is thinking everything belongs to the Lord. Lord has given the facility, the platform, the body, everything is a CD, everything you understand very clearly. So he engages in loving service. That doesn't mean he renounces his job, doesn't mean he gives up his business, doesn't mean he gives up family. No. Everything he does, but with a view of sadhu and shastra chakshu. He runs his life with. Shasti bhaktir bhagavati apincha sarvair gunair tatra samasate sura. Then manorate nasate davato vai. Kuto mahat guna davato vai. One who is operating on the mental platform is manoratena. Means he's using his mind's ideas. What Krishna says no, he's not following that. He's using mind's ideas. So, and it could be this can happen anyone, even in the great devotees families also, like Advaita Acharya was out of Panchatattva. Lord Mahavishnu and Sadasiva appeared as Advaita Acharya in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaur Leela. He is Mahavishnu himself, but in his children, out of 6 sons he had, half of them became mental speculators and half of them became devotees. Achyutananda Prabhu and Sri Gopal and Krishna Mishra. We have one devotee, Krishna Mishra. He comes for our Kirtan with Kalpavruksha. So these three are acted in alignment with Sadhu, Shastra, and Guru. What Advaita Acharya Sri Mahavishnu teaching, they align themselves. But the other three, Jagadish and Balaram, and one more is there. So Hiranya or something. These three acted completely opposite. They became smartas. They didn't follow what Advaita Acharya is saying. So you forget about now. Even when Lord, even when the Lord Advaita Acharya was there, Lord sons itself. So it could be just like even Vaman Dev and Bhumi Devi had a son, Narkasur. In the beginning, he was not Narkasur. He was all right, but when he associated with Banasur, he became Narkasur. He became also Asur, even though he was a son of God. So with whom we associate, that Sangha is also very important. So like this, there are many examples of one who is operating on the mental speculation, one who is not. In our own Sampradaya, Prabhupada explains in Chaitanya Charitamrita, in Adi Leela, I think, Madhya Leela, 8th chapter. Prabhupada gives example that what is mental speculation and what is not, what is following the previous acharyas, and what will result. Prabhupada is giving the whole history of one. So when Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has given clearly as instruction, when I leave this planet, then no one will become a leading guru. So Acharya won't be there. You will have you should form a committee, General Body Commission, GBC, and you should collectively, the sannyasis or those who are collectively, you make decisions. Anything comes up, then you decide, you discuss among yourself, and make a decision how to go about what is the resolution of a particular thing, particular situation, particular problem. And then, so that's what clearly he told. And he has emphasized on distributing the books and preaching the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, preaching all over the world. All these are instructions clearly. And they themselves, as soon as Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur left the planet, so there are two groups. One group was completely followed what Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur clearly laid out. And the other group, they began to divide into two. They fought for the properties of Bhakti Siddhanta, all the Gaudiya mutts, who's going to occupy which place, selling and getting money, and who's going to become the leader, become the Acharya. So this is called mental speculation. Prabhupada elaborate writes on this. And then what is the result? They are become useless, asara, Prabhupada says. Neither they could preach to the whole world what Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur wanted, neither they could distribute books in the world. They could do at a very small level. They couldn't do because the result won't be there. The result will be something else. One follows sadhu and shastra and guru. Yes, shastra vidhim mustrijya vartate kamka na siddhim navapnoti na sukam parangati. And this is the famous verse in the 70th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, as soon as mental speculation means he doesn't follow Shastra's words. Yes, Shastra Vidhim Mustrijya, regulations of Shastra or Guru's instruction. Then, as Shastra Vidhim Mustrijya, Vartate Kama Karata, because of his desire to enjoy separately, then Nasiddhim, no perfection. Even in the material benefits, also material enjoyment, also he cannot do. He cannot get much. Na siddhim navapnoti. He cannot attain perfection in the material world, forget about spiritual perfection. He cannot attain at all. Navapnoti, na labate param. He cannot get any benefit in this life, next life also. So meagerly he'll have to struggle so hard to get some enjoyment. So because he's not following any instructions of Shastra, Sadhu and Guru. So the Prabhupada is giving this example. And whereas we, Prabhupada says, in our case, we followed exactly as per Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's state instructions. We followed established general body commission. We distributed books. Even now, this book distribution all over the world, it goes on. Because that is the key instruction to distribute this transcendental knowledge of Lord Krishna as per Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, widely and elaborately. So more you distribute the books, then because a fool, as soon as he opens his mouth, tavat sobate, murka. So kinchan abhasada. Prabhupada explains, quotes the verse from Upanishad. As soon as he opens his mouth, so then he can easily understand is a fool number one. So because the one who speaks not from the sadhu and shastra and guru, Krishna statement, then he doesn't know what he is speaking. So by the speech, that's the first character is asked, what is the language? How does he speak? Self-realized soul has a different characteristic than the ordinary person. So Prabhupada explains, we established GBC, we followed exactly, and then the same thing. When Prabhupada left, also Prabhupada has clearly given instructions. Also, no Acharya. None of you will be no appointment a single Acharya. You form a GBC, you together work and make a decisions. That's how it is running now also. And distribute some books. This goes on preaching, following exactly. So, and then you can see the results. That's what Prabhupada says. You can see the results of all over the world. You are able to expand this mission as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted, as Lord Krishna wanted. Nachatasmad Manushya is Christian, one who distribute this knowledge. And Bhagavatam 177 explains that this speculation, illusion, how one can give up is by engaging in devotion service, by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Yasyam vai Sruyamananam Krishne Paramapurushe Bhaktir Utpaddate Pumsam Soka Moha Bhayapa. Moha means illusion. Illusion means mental speculation only. You operate on the mind's ideas. There is clear instructions how deity should be worshipped. So we have to follow that. External cleanliness, you have to take bath, you have to do Rachman, you have to do Gayatri, mm, then certain rules, how you should, what mantras you should chant to worship the deity, to Archana, to wake up the deity, to put the deities to rest, to trust the deity. Everything there is a mantras. Many of them don't chant. That means they are violation of the violation of Shastra and Sadhu, so and Guru. Then result won't be there. Result will be very, very little. Minute one who doesn't follow what Krishna has to say, what Shastra has to, what Guru has to say, where is it? Just like in the material world, one who goes to office, one who goes to business, if he does his own things, he doesn't follow what manager says, what the company is objective and mission guidelines, SOPs, standard practice. This training is regularly given, especially those are compliance issues. All these things are regularly given, so that people are reminded what is to be done, what is not to be done. So same thing here also. Transcendental knowledge has to be heard. Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. These days they have concocted Bhagavad Saptah, 7 days. You come up with an open Pandal program, 7 days we read. No, it is every day's business. The Srimad Bhagavad, you will nowhere find Bhagavad Saptah business. Parikshit Maharaj has to die in 7 days. So that's why he spoke in 7 days. But Shastra clearly Nityam Bhagavad Seva. Bhagavati Uttam Slok. Bhakti Bhavat Naistiki. One who is reading every day. It's not just 7 days. It's not money making business either. But these things that Yasyam by Sruyamana, one who hears regularly. Krishna Parama Purushe. Krishna is making these statements. In Chaitanya Charitamrita is there, Srimad Bhagavatam, we'll look at the verses. Wonderful verses are there. And this how one can remove this Nasta Buddhi or Manda Buddhi, paltry, the polluted intelligence or lower intelligence. So how one can purify is especially the hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita regularly must be there. So that we are always purified. We are being reminded what to be done, what not to be done. This is a statement from Sukadeva Goswami every day. He's telling Parikshit Maharaj immediately, as soon as Parikshit Maharaj asked what I'm supposed to do, I'm going to die in 7 days in the 19th chapter, first canto, and the beginning second canto, first chapter. Immediately he's telling that. Most of the people are not interested in any of this. They are interested in hearing all kinds of material news, material music, and so many things. So is telling the verse, first verse itself is quoting. So one is not interested in this. And then he's telling, and day and night people work so hard, but not realizing actually what is the ultimate goal of human life. Nidraya hite naktam vivayena cha bhavayat divajadaya rajan kutumba bharneno. Simply going on maintaining, but what for? At the end, when earthquake comes, what you'll do? At that time, can you take something with you? No, you can't take anything. Then so that we are not able to realize it. But Shastra is giving that indication from beginning to end through Bhagavad Gita. That was the consciousness of Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. Hold it, hold it. So this is for me, my enjoyment. Despite Lord Krishna's instruction, Vyasdeva's instruction, all the great devotees' instruction, they didn't want to follow any of that. Pollute this because of polluted intelligence, their own ideas. They didn't want to follow. As Duryodhana doesn't want to follow anybody's ideas, anybody's thoughts. So he wants to become his own ideas and thoughts. So that is the first and foremost problem. To become situated in happiness, ultimate happiness. So unending happiness, bliss. One is operating on the mental platform, then he cannot get actually real happiness. So this is the key important. One must engage in loving devotion service, and one must engage. One must be in the association of devotees, and one must hear Srimad Bhagavatam, and one must follow. Ideally, try to follow as much as possible sadhu and shastra and guru. That is the guide. These books are the guidance. It gives the principles, what to do and what not to be done. Then he's telling Parikshit Maharaj has been told, Tasmat Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Manusparajjata Mayapit Manobuddhir Mamavasya Asamse. There is a similar verse in Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, attaining the Supreme is telling the same. A similar verse, Lord Krishna. Similar verse, Sukadeva Goswami is also telling Parikshit Maharaj that. Yes, in this way, no, Srotavyadin Rajendra Pranam Santi Sahasrada. Thousands of things they want to hear, they want to read newspapers, so many things they have interest, but they have no interest in the actual real thing. Srotavyadin Rajendra Pranam Santi Sahasrada. Apasyatam Atmatattvam Gruheshu Gromedina. They are not seeing, they don't have far vision. They have very teeny vision for today and tomorrow, but not realizing at the end of life what they're going to get, where they're going to go. They're not realizing the higher goal of life. Apasyatam Atmatattvam. They have seen their father, grandfather, all of them left this world, but not realizing that what are we supposed to do. So this is the problem statement 451. Then Sukadeva Goswami describing that yes, you must so you must chant, you must hear, you must remember. This will, and this is the ultimate goal. एतावत् सांख्ययोगाभ्याम स्वधर्म परिनिष्ठ जन्मलाभ पर पुंसाम अन्ते नारायण स्मृति. One must remember Lord Narayan, Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Lord Rama at the end of life. That is his perfection of life. If he is situated in transcendence like this, sthita prajna, is been enlightened every day by transcendental knowledge, then gradually he'll come to that perfection. Lord Krishna is giving assurance. He's telling the gopis in the Madhya Leela Chaitanya and Krishna in Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto is giving the assurance. One who is engaging in loving devotion service to me is for sure, he is never lost, he will attain me because of his loving service. I will reciprocate accordingly because he is engaging in loving service. I will also give. So is the ultimate perfection. He will come to me without fail. He will come to me. He is telling. So the mind has to be engaged in drinking the nectar of the holy name. Etad nirvidyamananam ichitam akdobhayam yoginam rupanirnitam harer namanukittam. Continuously, regularly, every day. It's a gradual practice. It doesn't come. We cannot come to that stage immediately. Just like you in IT world, you start coding, you learn, develop, understand, learn Python, whatever, different language, different thing. Then you learn SQL, whatever. It could be anything. So Java, these days so many things are there. You learn and you practice and you become perfect at least to some level. Same thing here also. If you don't learn, if you don't regularly read and hear and practice, then of course we can't become self-realized. We'll keep operating on the mental speculation only. Just like in things how it works in material world, then spiritual practice also we have to do even with much more attention and absorption and follow it through slowly and gradually. It's a gradual process. It's not a all of it. It's a once in a while or a once in a blue moon we do. Then result also will be like that only. So position will be precarious. So now let us look at these verses. What Krishna has to say. That we understand with a proper statement. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, hearing about the intelligence fixed in samadhi, achala buddhi, same thing. So what will person say in the face of happiness or distress? Respect, disrespect, praise and condemnation. Kim prabhasit. What will he say, either loudly or to himself? In what will his senses remain unresponsive? In what way will his senses become unresponsive to the external objects? Means so many things may have come in his way when he's driving, when he's in the office. Then how he respond? He speaks, he doesn't respond most of the times unless he needs to. He doesn't get agitated. That's what it means. In what way will his senses respond to the objects? So, in terms of, the food he sees, the advertisement he sees, everything, the news he hears, everything he has completely is situated in transcendence. He doesn't react. He doesn't get agitated. He doesn't become bewildered either. So that is the position. Same thing. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is also same thing. The similar thing is saying. Now the first example. So in 25th chapter of Madhya Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself telling Krishna Bhakti Siddhanta Gana. Siddhanta means this is what you receive, understand this process of transcendental knowledge. Siddhanta means the essence of the whole Bhagavad Gita, the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna Bhakti Siddhanta Gana, the essence of Krishna Bhakti. याते प्रफुल्ल पद्म वन तारे मधुकरी आस्वादन प्रेम रस कुमुद वने प्रफुल्लित रात्रि दिने ताते चराओ मनो भृंग गण. Devotion service to Krishna is exactly like a pleasing, jubilant forest of lotus flowers wherein there is ample honey. I request everyone to taste this honey. If all the mental speculators bring the bees of their minds into this forest of lotus flowers and jubilantly enjoy ecstatic love of Krishna day and night, their speculation will be completely transcendentally satisfied. So that's what ideal citizen, ideal worker, ideal businessman means. He'll follow exactly the principles of the ideal lawyer, ideal judge. He'll follow what Shastra says. He'll follow exactly the codes of the for the judgment. He'll not use his own ideas and thoughts and give judgment. He'll follow exactly what the law book says. Here also Lord Krishna is telling. So one must follow the lotus flowers of be like devotees. One who is immersed in this Amala Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. They are like lotus flowers. Lotus flower never can contaminate with mud, even though they are in the water. Mud is all around, but even the water drop doesn't stay. नाना भावेर भक्त जना हंस चक्रवाक गण याते सवे करेन विहार कृष्ण केली सुमृणाल या पाए सर्व काल भक्त हंस करे आहार. The devotee who have relationship with Krishna are like the swans and chakravaka birds who play in the forest of lotus flowers. The birds of those lotus flowers are the pastimes of Krishna, and they are edibles for swan-like devotees. Lord Sri Krishna is always engaged in his transcendental pastimes. Therefore, the devotees following in the footsteps of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can always eat those lotus birds, for they are the pastimes of the Lord. So that is what one must hear. In the 11.3.22 Srimad Bhagavatam. तत्र भगवान धर्मान शिक्षेत गुरु आत्मा दैवतः अमाय अनुवृत्या is तुष्येद आत्मा आत्मदो हरि. When one actually hears sound vibration of Srimad Bhagavatam as it is, means as it is spoken by the Lord or his representative, the Guru, and you follow as it is. So he becomes free from the desire for sense gratification and mental speculation and is happy and satisfied in the service of Lord Krishna. So that is the most important, how one can remove. One should know the problem, one should also know the solution. Lord is giving both. A so-called Vaishnava who whimsically neglects the strict control of the body, mind, speech cannot actually achieve shelter at the lotus feet of bona fide spiritual master. Even if such a whimsical sense enjoyer makes a show of assuming the dress and danda of Vaishnava sannyasi, he will not attain the desired result, love of Krishna. A bona fide Vaishnava should work earnestly to free himself from any tinge of sense gratification and mental speculation. And with a loving heart, he should carry out the orders of his bona fide spiritual master. By always remembering the exalted position of a bona fide spiritual master, the disciple will achieve shelter at the lotus feet of Krishna. So that is very important to know. So that's what mental speculation means. What Guru Shastra Krishna says, that's what you do. What he doesn't say, then you will not follow. We will not use our ideas and thoughts. That is the first big no-no for the self-realization, for path of perfection. Further in Chaitanya Charitamrita Lila, which I quoted. So, Pratama Teya, Eka Mata Acharya Gana, Pache, Dui Mata Haila, Daivera Karan. Not only in the ordinary people, even in the Lord's devotees, Lord's Lord's sons also. This has been done, mental speculation. At first all the followers of Advaita Acharya shared a single opinion, but later they followed two different opinions as ordained by Providence. So Achyutananda, Gopal, Sri Gopal, Krishna Mishra followed the South Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Advaita Acharya as Shastra instructed. But the other three, others than Advaita Acharya, Balaram, Swarupa, Jagadish, they violated. They did their own ideas. So they became the speculator. The result became different. Further, you'll see that. In the 8th chapter of Madhyalila, Mai Bhaktir hi Bhutanam, here Lord Krishna is giving the confidence. Mai Bhaktir hi Bhutanam, Amrutatvaya Kalpate, Dishtya Yad Asin Mat Sneho, Bhavati Ram Mad Apana. The Lord Krishna told the gopis, the means of attaining my favor is loving service unto me. Unfortunately, you are all thus engaged. Those living beings who render service unto me are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world and attain eternal life with knowledge and bliss. So the fulfillment of human life is summarized in this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam 10:80-44. There are two important words in this verse, bhakti, devotion service, and amrutattva, eternal life. The aim of human life is to attain the natural position of eternal. This eternal life can be achieved only by devotional service. Without devotional service, one cannot enter into spiritual world. It is not possible. You like it or not like it, whether you believe it or not believe it, there is no question. One cannot enter. Now Lord Krishna is making the firm commitment. Krishnera pratigna druda sarva kale ache yei aiche bhaje Krishna tare bhaje taiche. Lord Krishna has made a firm promise for all time. If one renders service unto him, Krishna correspondingly gives him an equal amount of success in devotion service to the Lord. He is making that a clear statement so that we have no confusion. Here, Prabhupada is quoting 8:310. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Advaita Charana Yanhara Sarvasva Tanre Mile Yei Dhana. He who has accepted as everything at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Nityananda Advaita Acharya can attain this transcendental treasure. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur says that the Krishna is obtainable for the faithful, but for those who are accustomed to argue, so we don't argue. Neither we should not think I am a gopi, I am a cohort boy, I am this artificially. That is also mental speculation. That also Prabhupada says in a few places. But for those who are accustomed to argue, Krishna is far, far away. Similarly, these talks between Ramananda Roy and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can be understood by a person who has a firm faith. Those who are not in the disciplic succession, they are called Asauta Panta. Srota Panta means you receive the knowledge in transcendence. That's why we have to make sure that we are going to hear from Google, Internet, and YouTube, then make sure that that person he has a Acharya Parampara, Uch Sampradaya. Who is his Guru? How does he? Is he first of all himself is practicing? Then we should learn, we should hear. Otherwise, anybody pick up is not going to be much useful. Transformation ultimately it doesn't transform us. He may speak eloquently, but doesn't make much difference. There are so many people in this world speak eloquently, so many scholars, but does that mean can they anybody transformed in this world who has become devotees? Other than in India, anybody is able to transform people into devotees, Western people. That is the real success. Who has done it? So Prabhupada is able to do because the purity is there, presenting as it is. So that's why one who reads Bhagavad Gita as it is different from those who are reading all other Bhagavad Gita. It's not the same. It's not the same. You go to expert doctor who knows everything how to cure the disease, and you go to anybody, any doctor. So then we have to suffer so much because they don't know. They will start testing with this medicine, that medicine. They will do this that procedure. So many things they will do. So that we have to go to those who are presenting as it is. Result. One can Falena Parichati. We have to see the result. What is the transformation they have brought in this world? It's not they can speak eloquently. That doesn't mean anything. Whether they are representing what Krishna's words as it is, or they are adding their own ideas. If Krishna says I have a personal form, if they say that God doesn't have form, Nirakar, then that means he's not presenting as it is. They have their own ideas. And they are so-called scholars only of this world. So that's what we have to go by the Sadhu and Shastra and Guru. Otherwise, here Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is saying, can be understood by a person who has firm faith. Those who are not in the disciplic succession, the Asavata Panthas, cannot have firm faith in these talks. They're always doubting and engaging in mental concoctions. That is what today's verse is. Always doubting and engaging. One who is doubtful, one who is engaged in mental concoction, they can perfect their life. However, they can jump up and down. They can be great scholars. Only in this world, people can maybe put some garlands and give some accolades. That's about it. These talks cannot be understood by such whimsical people. Transcendental topics remain far, far away from those engaged in mundane arguments. In this regard, Vedic mantra is Katha Upanishad states, Naisha Tarkena Matir Apanaye Prokta Anenaiva Su Gnanaye Preshta. Ekant Mundak Upanishad is a famous verse. Mayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo Na Medaya Na Bhunasudha. You may be very great, intelligent, Meda, but not following the Acharya Parampara. Na Bhunas, you may have heard, you may be reading so many books, but the ultimate result is just simply speculation only. Yam evais vrunute tena labhya tasyeva atma vivrunute tanum swam. So, in this way, the Shastra is Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, everything is very clear. Again and again. Doctrines like those of Nadiya Nagaris in Bengal, so many are there, 20 or 20, 30 different types of people. Baulas, Saki Beki, they try to think that they are gopis, they are court boys artificially. A class of so-called devotees are never presented by authorized person like Swarup Damodar Goswami or Six Goswami. These ideas of these Gauranga Nagaris are simply a mental concoction. They are completely on the mental platform. One should not be misled by mental concoctions, supposing his material body to be perfect, deeming oneself as Saki. This is something like a Ahangropasana. This is what is there in 9th chapter Bhagavad Gita, verse Ahangopasana means that is Mayavadi's worship of his own body as the supreme. He has become Narayan. So that is Ahangopasana, himself thinking as a Lord. Sri Jiva Goswami has cautioned mundaners to abstain from such conceptions. He also warns that thinking oneself one of associated supreme without following in the footsteps of the gopis is an offensive as thinking oneself the supreme. Such thinking is an aparad. One has to practice living in Vrindavan by hearing about the talks of gopis with Krishna. However, one should not consider himself a gopi, for this is offensive. So many do that. That's why these are Baul and Saki because so many are there, these categories. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was there itself, this is going on. When Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is there, this is going on. Imagine how it is now, even more. So it is going on. So that's why we need to know what is what. Who is following, who is self-realized, who is not self-realized, who is following the Sadhu Shastra, who is not. Otherwise, we think it looks same. Everybody is speaking Krishna, everybody is crying. We think it is same, but it is not same. ताते माली यत्न करी करे avarana aparada hastira iche na haya udgam. If one thinks the society's members are not pure devotees, one can keep direct company with the spiritual master. And if there is any doubt, one should consult the spiritual master. However, unless one follows the spiritual master's instruction concerning the regulative principles of chanting and hearing the holy name of the Lord, one cannot become a pure devotee. By one's mental speculation, one falls down. By associating with non-devotees, one breaks the regulative principles and it is thereby lost. So, in this way, we can clearly understand these principles clearly laid out. So, throughout Srimad Bhagavatam, all these examples, in Parikshit Maharaj example, also when the lazy human beings with party intelligence, this is Nasta Buddha, as I'm mentioning that, Manda Buddhi, opposite to Sita Prajna. And short duration of life, pass the night sleeping and the day performing activities that are not congenial. So they don't know the real goal of human life. Special gift of this human birth, how to utilize it. They engage in working hard and enjoying themselves. So, King Puranjana's example, all these examples are there. So, this way we can understand. Otherwise, we cannot become free. So, if you want to become free, then one must engage in. So, a karma bandhana, bondage of fruitive activity entails the repetition of birth and death. One performs fruitive activity in such a way that he creates another body for his next life. As long as one attached to fruitive activities, he must accept another material. This repeated acceptance of material bodies is called samsara. To stop this, a devotee is advised to see the Supreme Lord constantly. The Kanishta Adhikari or neophyte devotee is therefore advised to visit the temple every day and see the form of the Lord regularly. Thus, neophyte devotee can be freed from the bondage of fruitive activities. So even going to temple and taking darshan also greatly helps naturally develop the attachment. So that's the case in the previous days. Now who's going? Nowadays hardly once a week itself is a great difficulty to going to temple. Forget about every day. But the olden days this was the case every day. Even now that is the case. Every day they go. So in many places they every day they visit temple. So morning or evening. So because that way they develop attachment. Otherwise, it's very difficult. And, where is that verse? Yeah, this is one of the important verse. Uh, as the followers of Advaita Acharya, here Prabhupada is writing. So yeah, Prabhupada is writing that Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur. So statements clearly writing this in the chapter 12, verse number 8, clearly making the mental concoction versus not. So in the beginning, during the presence of my spiritual master, all the disciples worked in agreement, but just after the disappearance, they disagreed. One party strictly followed the instructions of Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, that is called by Sri Prabhupada. But another group created their own concoction about executing his desires. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, at the time of his death, requested all his disciples to form a governing body and conduct missionary activities cooperatively. He did not instruct a particular man to become next Acharya, but they did. That's what they did. They didn't follow. That is mental speculation. But just after his passing away, his leading secretaries made plans without authority to occupy the post of an Acharya, and they split into two factions over who the next Acharya would be. Consequently, both factions were asar or useless because they had no authority. Having disobeyed the order of spiritual master, everything will be lost. Despite the spiritual master's order to form a governing body and execute the missionary activity Gaudiya, the two unauthorized factions began litigation and it is still going on after 40 years with no decision. Therefore, we do not belong to any faction, but because the two parties busy dividing material assets of the Gaudiya to stop the preaching work, we took up the mission of Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur and Bhakti Thakur to preach the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. Under the protection of all the predecessor acharyas, we find that our humble attempt has been successful. We followed the principles especially explained by Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti in Bhagavad Gita, verse beginning, Vyavasayatmika Bhakti Rekeh Kunan. According to the instruction of Vishwanath Chakravarti, it is a duty of a disciple to follow strictly the orders of his spiritual master. Everything. So that is where the solution is. If you don't follow, then it is simply mental speculation only. The secret of success and advancement in spiritual life is the firm faith of the disciple in the orders of the spiritual master. To one who has a staunch faith in the words of spiritual master and the words of Supreme Personality of God, the secret of success in Vedic knowledge is revealed. Therefore, by the result of their actions, one should know that they are asara or useless, whereas the success of ISKCON party, the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, which strictly follows Guru and Gauranga, is increasing daily all over the world. Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur wanted to print as many books as possible and distribute them all over the world. We have tried our best in this connection and we are getting a result beyond our expectation. So that is the result we can see. So what has happened in this world. So this way we can understand this today's verse, how one speaks. Gaudiya is also speaking. Gaudiya also has temples. They are worshipping. Is it the same? It is not same. Why? Because they have violated the orders of spiritual master. Of course, the result will be different. So this is what you jump. Yes, somebody is giving you the what is it? Siddha Pranali, and you run there. Then what result you will get? You simply become another Baba. That's all you can become. Can't get actually the real thing because you have to follow what Acharya is speaking. So, and follow those who are actually following exactly what previous Acharya is doing and executing the desires of the previous Acharya. Those are the ones who have to follow as it is. And results can be seen. You can see in their behaviors, in their actions, in their conduct, in their life. Everything you can see. So who is following, who is not following by their behavior, by their actions. It's easy to find out, especially if you read Prabhupada's books. you can easily find out who is who. Exactly. Whether they are in line with Shastra and Sadhana Guru or they are not in line with Shastra and Sadhana Guru. If you don't read, then it looks same only. So that's how we have to read and hear, and then we can understand what is mental speculation, what is the following the Sadhu and Shastra and Guru. With that, we'll stop here. Anyone has questions, you can ask. Let me unmute. Yeah, you're unmuted. Anyone has any questions on these verses or anything else? Okay, no questions. Stop.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Go ahead. Hare Krishna. Anjana Mata.
Prabhuji, yes, like when we hear, it's so many things, and in the end, it feel like same is the bhakti, love for Krishna, and full focus on Krishna, and all other processes in the bhakti. But it begins with the different shloka and different purport.
What do you mean by different? What is your question? So,
Question, no, just the understand. It's not the question. I can say like a part of realization or the understanding. So way we begin our like different chapters or the shloka, and when we end, everything feels same.
no, but it's not the same. Means yes, the point of ultimate perfection is you follow bhakti, but in this particular section, what he is telling, yes, you follow bhakti, that may be there. But if you are following a speculation, like chanting is clearly laid out. Prabhupada has given clear process how to chant. First, you have to follow the Tulsi Maharani. You bow down to Tulsi Maharani. There's Tulsi Prana after Mangalarti. You take a darshan. If you are at home, you take online darshan. If you are at temple, you take the direct darshan. And then you chant Samsara Dava prayers during that. It takes only a few minutes. You can finish by going to the brushing the teeth and you can chant. You can pick up the beads and chant. You don't need to take bath either. But if you go to bathroom, you have to take bath. So you chant Samsara prayer, then you chant Tulsi Pranam, then you chant some Sikshastakam prayers, then you chant on the beads after reading the 10 offenses. This is what the process given established by Sri Prabhupada all over the ISKCON. In all ISKCON temples, this is the process. Before chanting, this is done. So that before chanting, you are absorbed, the mind gets into the mode in the right consciousness. Then when you pick up the beat, then mind can stay focused. This is the process. But if you do otherwise, or while chanting also, I see sometimes you are doing some multitasking. You're watching TV or you're talking, but that is not what is been authorized. What is been mentioned by Prabhupada or the Shastra. That is speculation. And in these verses, today's verse, what we are discussing is we may be practicing bhakti, but how you chant, how you hear, how you read cannot be on a mental speculation. If we are doing, then we should fix that. That is what today's verse essence is. What is our lesson going back home and following is try to fix. If you are worshipping the deity, you have to follow. At home, it is liberal, but at temple, especially if you are doing, then it must be followed exactly what acharyas are giving. Exactly. Do the achman, cutting the nails, tying the hair, and absolutely no talking. While doing service, no talking. Despite I repeat again and again, people want to talk. Devotees want to talk. No. If it is related to service, then only you talk. While being in the kitchen, while being in the altar, these things has to be avoided because everything has to go for Krishna service. Minute we start talking, means that's our own ideas and thoughts comes. Those are later. You can talk afterwards, after service. These are all things has to be corrected. So we all have some problem. Those things has to be corrected. We learn it and we correct ourselves. If we don't correct means that means we are operating on mental performing bhakti, but we can't progress much because we are operating on mental speculation. That has to be fixed. So for chanting, there is a clear procedure. If on the japa call somebody is chanting, no one should else chant. Period. Because everybody should hear their own chanting, not somebody else, not even Prabhupada chanting. Yes, if you are not chanting, you can hear. But while you are chanting, you can put in a very low voice. But we should hear what we are chanting. Exactly each and every syllable has to be pronounced clearly. That's how one should chant the holy name. But many does not. Many chant, multiple people chant on the japa. Then which voice are you hearing? Whose voice? You are supposed to hear your own voice. Hare Krishna Mahamantra clearly. Mm. That's why in all the temples, the Prabhupada's class, when he gives what is it? When he sings Jai Radha Madhava, then they listen. Those who are around listen, that you repeat after. Same thing with the verse also. This is the process. Since when you are chanting, you yourself is hearing attentively. Then again you chant, continue, you chant like that. If somebody else is chanting at the same time in Japakal, then what does it mean? That means they haven't understood what Prabhupada is trying to tell us. That means it's mental speculation. This goes on, then you can't get much result. And so that's why today's word is today's verse is very important actually. So much speculation goes on the name of bhakti. We need to know. So what is what? So this is everything in the chanting. This is there in hearing, in service also. This must be followed. Everything. How to serve prasadam also. That is also a process. How you serve. One who's already eaten, that plate cannot go on the prasadam vessel. It has to be outside. Then it becomes contaminated otherwise. Uh, Everything is a process. Prabhupada has taught all these things. So that the more we hear, more we read, then you understand how to do things. So after hearing, then we have to fix it. We have to fix our problem, the mistakes. Then we can actually see the success. We can see the progress. We can see our devotion increasing. We can see our love for the Lord and Guru increasing. And that's why we have to hear from Guru regularly, Prabhupada regularly. Read, of course, and also hear. Prabhupada lectures is there on YouTube, it is there in vanisource.org, it is there in prabhupadvani.org. That's why just simply reading every day and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, everything, but you have to note down what today I learned, and make sure that tomorrow morning when I wake up, then I try to follow at least what I learned. If we continue the same thing today I did, tomorrow also after hearing class, after knowing this is what I'm supposed to do, but still I go back to my own ideas, then that is still mental speculation only. So that has to be fixed. So is that clear?
In the beginning, yes, Prabhuji. In the beginning, like when I was new
Yeah.
with this association, I was reading more. Like I had this previous habit. Like whenever I get chance, I used to read. But now the chanting is more, so reading got less.
Hmm. No, read
And
16 rounds we should chant, and then other time we should engage, divide, or like let's say we only chant 8 rounds or whatever. Like we have only 1 hour in a day. We should try to divide that at least, 30-40 minutes you can do chanting and other 10 minutes reading and 10 minutes hearing, something like that. We should, based on the time, we can hear. Even if the hearing has to be done multitasking while doing cooking or something, putting headphones, fine. So gradually, because it's better that not hearing anything and doing cooking is better than that we hear something while doing the other things. If somebody is there and then we are discussing or talking family, then it's fine. But otherwise, we hear and we so class and we'll do the other things. So that way it helps. So we should divide the time. We should definitely read and hear. Just chanting, because otherwise chanting quality cannot be improved. If you don't hear, if you don't read regularly, Prabhupada himself used to read. Prabhupada himself used to hear. So himself used to read, himself used to hear. So that's what we are calling. If Guru does it, then disciples are supposed to follow what Guru is teaching, what Guru is doing. That's
another question, Prabhuji. Yes, and this Srimad Bhagavad Gita, right?
Yes.
Krishna himself is like explaining to Arjuna, right? All
Yes.
the teaching.
Yeah.
So now about this King Puranjana, right? You were saying like he got last like 7 days he was about to die, and is he like getting the same teachings? Is he like listening to the same teachings of Bhagavad Gita from somebody else, right?
No, King Puranjana has been told by the King Puranjana, in this case is Prachina Parishat, has been instructed by Narada Muni.
Vyasa.
Canto 4.
Mahari.
No, Narada Muni. Narada
Oh,
Muni is speaking.
Narada
In this
Muni.
Canto 4, there are many chapters in this particular history. After Lord Shiva instructing Prachina Parishat sons, Prachetas, then these chapters come. 428, we're talking almost 25th or 26th, it starts. 4 or 5 chapters, King Prachina Parishat has been instructed by Narada Muni. Directly instructed, he didn't understand. Now he's giving the examples of Puranjana. He used some
Hmm.
names, Puranjana and Kalakanya and all, and he's giving the examples in this way. How he is running his life, his own example only. See, but in this allegorical way, he's explaining. Yeah.
Is he explaining the same Bhagavad Gita or it's a different like Srimad Bhagavatam?
No, this is Srimad Bhagavatam only, not Bhagavad
Oh,
Gita.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, okay, okay.
Bhagavad
Yeah.
Gita is foundation knowledge, and Bhagavatam goes with examples, much more detail,
Hmm.
elaborately. Bhagavad
Hmm.
Gita only 45. Krishna spoke for only 1 hour, less than 1 hour in battlefield. So there not much time. But Srimad Bhagavatam 7 days Parikshit Maharaj had, so 7 days it was spoken. But still it is unending. Bhagavatam is unending. What we have is one set. So each material universe, different different planets, we have different versions because the Lord's glories are unending. Bhagavatam is all pastimes of the Lord. Uh, So each of
Hmm.
these incarnations,
Yes.
unlimited incarnations are there, and unlimited pastimes are there. Like Vaman, they appeared so many times. Narsingh, they appeared so many times. So we get some versions of it, but if we include all of them, then it's endless. So yeah, Lord Sankarshan. Yeah.
I think it was like Maharishi that Vyasa, when he was not happy even after writing so many scriptures, so Narad Muni was
Right.
asking why you are not happy, right?
Yes, that is
Some.
Srimad Bhagavatam beginning. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Then he has been told that you have deviated everybody into so many fruitive karma kanda vichar. You have given everything else except the real thing. The loving devotion service to Lord Krishna. That you didn't give. Then
Hmm.
he sat down on the bank of Badari trees, in Badari Kashtam. Even now it is there, Vyas Guha, where
Oh,
Vyasdev meditated. Yeah, if you go to Badari Kashtam, Badrinath, then you can see
uh-huh.
where Vyasdev sat down and where Ganesha wrote. All those places are there. Badari Sanda Mandite, Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pranihite Amale, Mayam Chata Tapashrayam. Then he went to Samadhi, then he saw Lord in the front, and then on the back is external energy, this material manifestation, both internal energy, external, both he saw. So how it is acting by by following Ardhamunism. Then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why it is called Samadhi Bhashya. In full situated in Samadhi, then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. It's highest absolute truth at the highest level. Not talking at Dharma or the Kama Moksha, but it's talking about Pancham Purushartha,
Krishna.
Prema.
Oh,
How to develop Prema, not liberation. Liberation is even rejected, is beyond liberation. Like loving service to Lord Krishna. That is what has been exemplified from the beginning, first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto to all the way till the last.
oh, sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Other questions? Yeah. From today's verse, the lesson is we all have to fix our consciousness on the Lord and Guru and follow as much as possible what Sadhu and Shastra says. Not follow our own ideas and thoughts in terms of chanting, in terms of hearing, in terms of reading, in terms of serving the Lord and the devotees, in terms of worshipping the deity, everything one should follow. If we don't know, if we have a question, confusion, then we should consult. We should consult.
With the chanting, Prabhuji, I have like one. I don't know, it's a question or like just like what
Yeah,
I'm experiencing.
go ahead.
I'm able to do 11 rounds.
Okay.
So I noticed like first time during Mangala Aarti time I was in the temple, 11 rounds I did easily. Then like my body I can say started becoming uneasy. I was not able to sit at the same place. Then I had to move. Then I changed 2 3 spots over there. But somehow, but that was the first time. Then again I tried. So it is like very close to 11 rounds. After that, I don't know what starts happening to me.
It's a gradual practice. Is if you, some people cannot sit a longer period, which is fine. Then you walk and chant. So ideally, sit at one place and finish. That is the ideal way. But it's just if the bodily condition doesn't help, it comes by gradual practice. Then you can walk and chant and gradually increase. One day you cannot come many people. It's very difficult to come to 16 rounds. You sometimes Prabhupada also said 4 rounds batch, 4 or 8 rounds a batch. You divide, you do in multiple times. Ideally, once
Yeah,
it's supposed to be done, but just not possible for many. And then in that way you can divide. But in the association of devotees, if you do, then you will get inspired. So we have japa call in the morning. Start at 4, 3:30. Some people are even doing even before 3:30 also, joining and chanting. So everybody will on the mute and you're on your own from your home. You chant. And then because you see that everybody others are joining and getting up chanting, then you also want to chant. You get inspired. So let do it. After that, you can sleep. After 6 o'clock, once you finish your round, you can sleep. After the class, you can sleep. Restful on the weekend. So weekday also you can sleep for half an hour, whatever, after finishing the rounds. That is the idea. So, but morning it should be done. Effective rounds should be done. Fix the timing, especially sleep early and wake up early. That is the key principle.
that is yes. Like
Actually,
for that we need to sleep early. Like for
slowly we
so
have to
for
adjust. Slowly we have to adjust.
mm,
Eating habits and sleeping habits. So I have to slowly adjust. You just balance the activities, lifestyle activities. Slowly we have.
8 are very easy to do. 8 rounds are no problem. Very easy to do. And then and even the best way that I realized is by closing the eyes,
Yes.
keeping eyes closed. That is the best. So
Some
sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
some will sleep. For me, also closing eyes and chant that way. But for not everybody. For many, they will sleep when they close eyes. So depends. Each person is different. So according to what works, then that's what I ultimately one should hear focusly, hear what they're chanting, the each mantra syllable. So whatever helps in that way, either sitting next to Tulsi Marani or looking at the picture and chanting. For some, it helps like that. For some, they have to focus, they have to close their eyes and chant. So whatever helps to actually quality rounds of chanting, that's what we have to. They have to be in a separate room than the rest of the family. So whatever helps, that's what we'll do. Because time plays helps. Early morning is the best before 7 o'clock, before everybody wakes up. That is the best time to chant. Finish your rounds. At least the quality, at least 8 rounds, 12 rounds, if not 16. Every day we should make that habit. At least few rounds before everybody wakes up. Before others wake up, we chant. Then there is no disturbance. There is no duty. There is no reminders of you have to do this, that, so many things. So that way, because otherwise mind is tend to plan. While chanting, mind is tend to plan different things. What you are supposed to do that day and next day. What pressing things. All these things mind will bring exactly when chanting. But if,
I forgot about the sleeping part. You reminded me about something like when we were little growing up. My sister used to sleep like our family, like elderly people, they just used to ask, okay, meditate, everybody. And we were kids, so that we do not run around and we do not make noises. And they were making us like in the front, all the kids sit and meditate, try to sit. And even some elderly people I have seen, like they used to snore and sleep. I forgot about that. Like if we close the eyes, then we do chantings.
yeah,
Some may get sleepy,
yeah,
but for
walk and
me,
chant.
it's working.
Yeah, those who are sleepy in the morning, they're not used to waking up morning, then you walk and chant so that you don't sleep. You don't put blankets on the head, so you don't cover yourself too much, and then you'll sleep. All these things are there. So, idea is to chant. Whatever helps, we have to fix. If there is a problem, you can't continue on like that. That means mental speculation. You have to fix it. The problem
Mm.
has to be fixed. So, yeah.
Sure. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Chandra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhaktan ki jai.